Sometimes I'd just like to start them up and see what they all sound like. Hello from Farland. Very first thing, I'd like to give a virtual wave to my friend Graham Fulston for mentioning me on his fabulous channel. I have received a number of new subscribers and a number of new views of new people. And with that, let the trains begin. The title of this video is All the Tricks in the Book. But honestly, I don't know all the tricks in the book. But I can offer up a few tricks and things I've learned over the course of building Farland. And I've learned a lot. First, we're going to take a field trip. Excuse me. We're going to take a field trip over to the far side of the layout. I have something that I've been dying to show you for quite some time. I think this is as good a time as you know, I'm a pretty big proponent of electrofrog points. And I got this one, and I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't work right. I finally got out my meter and determined that there was no conductivity between this side and this side of the track. So I put a jumper in. So don't always assume it's your fault. Sometimes it's the fault of the manufacturer for not testing everything. But I put a jumper in it, and it's worked fine ever since. This isn't a tip or a trick, but when I was outfitting this signal box, see that I came up with a diagram for this entire section up here. So, with that in mind, and by the way, it does look better weathered down a bit. Although it takes an amazing amount of time. One of the issues I ran into was there would be a little bit of ballast somewhere that wasn't completely glued down. So when the airbrush hit it, blew it all up and blew it out and made a big mess. And then, you know, I had to spend quite a bit of time cleaning that up, and I couldn't paint it till the glue dried. So that slowed me down considerably. But I've been working on a diagram for the whole layout. See what you think. I don't know how well you can read all that. Obviously far more. And this is the camping spur, the diesel maintenance, 2 crossovers. And this is the siding that goes up to platform 1. Interestingly enough, since I'm in a figure 8, it flops over on itself, and it's kind of backwards on part of it. Well, it's opposite. So the blue represents the A track, and the red represents the B track. But you see, they're flipped, because this is the way you see them when you look, when you're operating the railway. And I don't know for sure what I'm going to do with that, but I wondered if I could build one, and I managed to. It's not to scale or anything, of course, it's just a diagram. But I thought if I ever wanted to build a control panel that would have lights and things on it, and I know you can do that with software, but I'm kind of more of a tactile guy. I'd rather run all the wires and have the lights lighting up on a board and a diagram, just watching a train go by, and a diagram that shows me where I am on the layout, because I can duplicate the signals. I have a number of signals around the layout, and I could duplicate those lights on a board, and that would be pretty interesting to watch, because you could tell where trains were just by that. And then if I added a few more, I could fill in the areas that where I don't have signal to the board, repeaters to the board. I could fill those in with new sensors, and it would be pretty fun. I could kind of watch trains go around virtually. So anyway, that's something I'm thinking about. I don't know if I'm going to jump into that because it's a huge undertaking. Okay, couple more things. Let's go back over here. I finally got the iPad, so now I have 2 throttles. Pretty handy for running. Since I got the airbrush, I thought, hey, I'll probably need a turntable. So I built this one. It's not bad. It's not frictionless, but it's not bad. And I actually tried doing a little painting on it. It works just fine. So I'm looking forward to doing a little weathering once I get past this area on the weathering the track. I'm not going to try to do all the track at once. I'm kind of done with that for a while. I'll probably finish up around Shell Hill and along. There's a couple things over here I thought I'd show you. One is this newly discovered item right here. I was watching a video about cleaning one's airbrush when I found out about these little brushes. And he was talking about using nail polish remover. Anyway, that's not the point. These little brushes are handy for cleaning up the airbrush, but they are also handy, and so is nail polish remover. You can get in here and you can clean the side of the blade and the rail. And if you use this nail polish remover that I just showed you, it will clean that. I've been trying other things to clean between the contact point and have discovered that nail polish remover works really well. So anyway, that's one point. The other, next one, is these couplers. They're Electrotrain, European. They're made by Hornby though. And here's the part number. And anytime you have a stubborn coach that keeps wanting to come uncoupled, for instance, let me turn the camera around here. I have an incline and a decline. And actually the incline, well, they're both inclines and declines. The Big Curve project made this very, very gradual coming around here. But over there underneath Shell Hill, whoops, underneath Shell Hill, it's still steeper than the other. And when the coaches come down that hill over there, let's go over and look at it. you'll get a coach somewhere in the rake that likes to disengage. I haven't put those on this rake yet, and it's behaving just fine now that the camera's on. But every now and then I get a rake where maybe the second from the last coach or somewhere in there will want to disconnect itself from the rest of the train. That's where those couplings really come in handy. Or if you just want it to be really close. Watching. Very distractive having these trains running while I'm talking to you because I love to watch the trains. This is a sound off, Dave, so you can understand me. Okay, back to the table. Cut. People have asked me what I use for coupling and decoupling. Well, I use this, and I use it because, well, it's the right width for one thing to uncouple whatever I want to uncouple, but the other thing is it has this point, and it's wooden, so that it doesn't short the track. Every now and then you get a misbehaving one of these to where it's off to the side or something, and you're trying to couple up. Well, this will reach down and push that over without shorting out the track. So I've been asked what I use. That's what I use. I don't have a bent deal that reaches down underneath and all that. There's always some place along the track where it's easy to get to the side, and I can uncouple it. Flags. I have two of these. It's just a pin with a little flag on it. They are really handy. They're handy for timing. They're handy for making a mental note of where you last worked. If you have a very specific spot you want to remember when you go away and come back to it the next day, one of these little flags really helps. And you can always put them in the side so that it isn't in the way of the track. The next thing, and blue tape. I use it all the time for a variety of things. One is to pick up the sawdust after I've drilled a hole in finished scenery. Instead of using the vacuum and risking vacuuming up things that I don't want to vacuum up, I just use a little piece of tape. Pick it up. So that's about it. Bye from Farland. Night, David. Night, Graham. Night, Dave 47. Night, Richard. And all you modelers out there in modeler land, see you next time.